Hey, it's Jack, Noke, Jack in the Attic. I just finished recording a video that is about something, so now I want to record a video that is about nothing. So I just finished my everything I made this fall video. Now I just want to have a little knit and chat. I actually don't know which video is going out first, so if it's this one somehow and you haven't already seen, the pants are done. The cotton culottes that I've been talking about forever because they took a long time to knit are done. I'm wearing them. Here's a picture of them. I'm wearing them because I love them and I've been wearing them nonstop since they came off the needles. I have washed them twice. I am having like one issue, and that is that the yarn I picked does loosen with wear. So the fix for that is throwing it in the dryer on high, and it has withstood that now twice. So loving these pants, having the best time. I talked about in my other video that I can't 100% recommend this pattern only because it has pretty limited sizing, but that I do think it could be adjusted pretty easily with modifying your cast on number and then following the increase pattern and the short rows, mostly as written, just with a different stitch number. So that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about the pants, other than I love them. I'm getting a lot of use out of them already. And the dye lot issue that I showed in my last knit and chat video is still an issue. Where the color change happens is not anywhere near the same spot on each leg, so it's very obvious. I am, of course, still wearing them. I intend to eventually over dye them. I kind of wait until I have a collection of things that I want to dye or re-dye black, and then I do it all at once. This is likely a temporary problem. I'm also convinced that it's going to sort of even itself out the more I wash these. Don't know if that's true, but I'm really just hoping. So right now, I'm working on another thing that I mentioned in my last video. At that time it was a concept, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized this would be so useful to me that I cast on, and I have not stopped knitting it, and I may even finish it this weekend, and that is sleeves, or shrug, or a bolero. I followed the Tin Can Knits raglan cardigan pattern because it's what I have, but I just did it in the round to make it not a cardigan. So I did the short row shaping to make the back neck higher, but I also did another sort of section of short rows on the bottom section of the back to accommodate the sleeves. There would not be enough room for the sleeves had I not done that, and I wanted to keep the front a little bit higher. The ribbing on the front is still flipping up a little bit. I think washing it's going to fix that. But I did a wider neck, long sleeves. I have one sleeve done, a long ribbed cuff. I don't have any of the ends woven in. I am really having a good time with crochet cast on and crochet bind off, so that's what I've been doing anytime I have the option. I am still a much faster crocheter than I am a knitter, and binding on and casting off are my least favorite things, so if I can do them as crochet, it makes things so much easier for me. So I'm maybe, I don't know, a third of the way on the second sleeve? Oh, maybe halfway, almost. I'd say 40% of this sleeve before the ribbing. So yeah, that's a lot of progress actually. I really just think this is going to fix a lot of my cold weather clothing problems. I hate wearing a fitted long sleeve shirt more than anything in the world. Can't stand it, but my arms are cold. So once I realized that this would be so useful to me, again, I cast on and I didn't stop. So this is almost all I have worked on since we last spoke. Oh, and this is Lion Brand Kobu, which I had not used before, It was deeply discounted on Black Friday, so I bought kind of a lot of it. I had felt it in store before, knew it was soft and felt pretty nice, but I had not used it. It is a little bit splitty, but nothing that I can't tolerate. It's fine. In fabric form, it feels so nice. I did not expect to have this kind of experience with like big box craft store yarn. But I love bamboo, I love cotton yarn. And there's nothing wrong with big box craft store yarn, by the way. It just feels so nice. Very pleasantly surprised by it. So very excited to get this finished. I know I say that about everything, but this one I know is going to get worn a lot. So I'm going to keep working on this. The other thing that I have been working on is what is the name of the pattern? The Autumn Leaves Linear Top? Yes, Autumn Leaves Linear Top. So before I cast on the sleeves, before I allowed myself an additional cast on, basically, my goal was to really focus on my whips for the rest of the year and just finish things up and start the next year fresh. That's not happening. So I think what I will do instead is indulge this cast on energy that I have and then do finish it February. I do not know if that is a formal thing even a little bit, but I've seen other people talking about it, I've seen other people participate, and I feel like if I have something sort of planned like that to finish all my whips, I can cast on anything. I can cast on everything? Is that true? So I did finish the leaves. They're so scrunched up. I know blocking is going to fix it, but it's very hard to show. I finished the leaves section for the first half because it's made in 2 rectangular panels. There's a leaf. You can see a leaf. The leaves were not too terribly hard. It's really just yarn overs and decreases to make the pattern. And I do think the color of this yarn is coming through beautifully. I think the stockinette section is going to show that very well. So I think I did pick the right pattern for this yarn. I'm very excited to see how it works out. Once I finish the sleeves, this will be my new sort of priority. I didn't bring it into my room because it is constantly in my purse as my little like travel project, my passenger project, but the brioche bandana cowl is going well. I am nearly done with the in the round section. Not quite. It really just takes so long. But on Christmas I got some done. Anytime I'm a passenger in the car during daylight hours, I get a little bit of it done. So I'm plugging away at that. I will have it done before the coldest part of the winter, I believe. Winter technically just started. So I know I have a couple good months of terrible weather ahead of me in which I can wear all my knits on top of each other all at once, and then still not go outside. I am also, of course, still working on the black and white striped cardigan. No progress. I think I've done 2 rows. So while I don't have too terribly much to update you on as far as current knits that I haven't already spoken about, I did want to talk a little bit about storage. One of my less exciting, but exciting to me, Black Friday purchases was a couple of little storage containers that I'm using for notions, and I want to talk about that a little bit. So I'll put the name of the website here because I never know how to pronounce it. It's a Danish website that I have purchased yarn from a few times. I will say their prices are great. Their shipping is fast. I have not had any issues with them whatsoever, so I think I can go ahead and say I recommend them. Yeah, here's what I got so excited about. First of all, just a little container for my stitch markers. These are the ones I use most for knitting. trying not to move it around too much because it is very jingly. So I have slightly more than 6 colors, so I did a little bit of mixing together, but so far this has been so useful. They came in a little circle tin all mixed together, which is fine. This is just easier for me. And then I got another multi-compartment container for different types of stitch markers and other notions. So this has my like plastic locking stitch markers that I use more for crochet, and then the ones that don't lock I also use for crochet, and then these, I think these were just like the only kind available when I bought them, and then a bunch of the stitch stoppers in here as well, and I keep a couple of the keys for my interchangeable knitting needles in here as well. I have separate cases for my knitting needles where I used to keep those keys, but I more often need them to like tighten up what I'm currently using rather than switching needles. So they're just more convenient to have here. I have 4 total, so I have 2 in this and then 2 in my knitting needle container. I also have my favorite thimble. It's not for knitting or crocheting, but I have it in this box anyway because I just know I'm not going to lose it in here. So it goes in here. The thing I'm kind of most excited about is this yarn needle holder. This was like $2, maybe $3. It's wood and metal, and I feel like it was a great deal. And it holds a ton of yarn needles. Like, truly a lot of yarn needles. It even holds the huge angled one. The only one it does not hold is this huge pink plastic one that I have no idea where it came from. It is just simply way too tall. So that just goes in the container next to it. So these are the things I get really excited about. I will say this has made already a drastic difference in my ability to find the things I need quickly. This is what I was using before. Hold on. Previously I had been using just these like pencil boxes. And I still am. This holds all my weird little cords, an extra pair of scissors. This was previously stitch markers. Now it is my odd-shaped stitch markers and a couple of safety pins. This was an old stitch marker container that I keep for travel reasons because it closes really securely and it's not too loud jingling around. Yeah, a couple notebooks, just all this. So this I don't use nearly as often, so I can put it somewhere else and just use the little containers, and that has made a huge difference. I am currently keeping all of my crochet hooks in this box from Joann. It's got a bunch of bats and spiderwebs on it. I love it. Okay, let me explain. So this looks real grody, and it kind of is, but this is because I use mostly black yarn, so fuzz gets stuck in it. This is the type of medical tape that sticks to itself, and it has been incredibly helpful for ergonomic crochet reasons. You can reuse it. I mostly have it on the 2 hooks that I use most often. So again, it looks gross, but it works really well for me. So yeah, all my crochet hooks are in here. It is the perfect size. I bought this last year, but this is a size of box that they seem to carry like year-round for every holiday. I wish I could tell you what size it is, but it does not say, and I don't have a ruler near me. That would be handy. It would make a lot of sense if I had that. So in this box I have extra little things for knitting, including my cable needles, non-interchangeable cable needles that I used when I was just starting, and some DPNs. These are terribly loud. I've been keeping those all in this Magic the Gathering cardboard box. It was an insert from the Innistrad Crimson Vow gift bundle box. I'm pretty sure it was just to fill space, but it was the right size for me. I should get a different box. But this was there and it was free. So instead of throwing it away, I put stuff in it. For my actual yarn storage, my house is full of IKEA furniture. I lived near an IKEA for a while and that just happened. So all of my furniture is cubes. So I have a lot of cube baskets. I have a combination of like this type of cube basket. I don't like keeping these in the plastic so much aesthetically, but it's functional. So this is mostly cotton yarn and this is just sitting to the side until I'm ready for it. But most of my wool I keep in plastic zipper pouches. I'll show you one of those. So here's one of my huge cube boxes. I have a few of these, and inside is a zipper pouch, also a cube. This is sort of hard to show, but there's my yucky green yarn. Yeah, most of my wool I keep like in a zipped container. And then most of my cotton I keep sort of out. So that has been my yarn storage solution for quite a while. I haven't really figured out what to do with my spinning tools, but those are minimal. I currently only have the one drop spindle and 2 bags of fiber that I'm working through right now. So I haven't needed to figure out a solution for those. They've sort of just been tucked into the side of one of my big cube baskets. And so far that's been fine. However, I did recently acquire a new container. And if you haven't gotten the vibe from this video, I'll just say it. I love containers. Big fan of containers. And here's my newest container. It's the Nosferatu popcorn tin sarcophagus. Because of course it is. I did not know this existed. I went into the movie, I sat down with my partner, and my partner said, "We should get one of the sarcophagus popcorn boxes." And I said, "What are you talking about?" So in the middle of the movie, I snuck out to the lobby and I purchased one sans popcorn just because it's a huge tin box. It's metal, it's embossed, it's incredible like quality for a promotional item for a movie. The only branding is on the bottom, thank goodness. If it had this on the side, I would not have purchased it because this is like a pretty sick standalone piece. And I think my drop spindle would fit in it really well. So eventually I know I will own more than one drop spindle, and I think this is where I'm going to store them. To the surprise of absolutely no one. Once I found out this existed, I thought it was going to be kind of tricky to get my hands on, but no, my theater just had a ton of them sitting there. So that's sort of what I have going on. Again, I intend to finish the sleeves probably this weekend, and then I can focus more on my whips. I will probably do one more cast on to like celebrate the new year. And then, having created a bunch of problems, I will solve them all in Finish It February. Do you see how this is enabling me? I won't pretend having several whips is an actual real world problem. It's maybe a little cluttery, but I am absolutely being dramatic when I call this like a problem, a crisis. It's really not. When I say I am allowing myself a cast on treat, I really don't have strong opinions about it. It's whatever. I also cannot argue that there is no value in focusing on one thing at a time. Of course there is. So this is just to say that all of that is in good fun. It's fine. I think monogamous knitters have a lot of self-restraint that I simply don't possess. I don't think either of us are doing it right or wrong. I am beginning to lose my voice because I have spoken for an hour and a half now, and that is too much for me. So I am going to leave it there. I hope you're all having a nice holiday season. this is probably the last video that I filmed this year. Not knowing my upload order at the moment, I will go ahead and say have a nice New Year's Eve and a safe New Year's Eve. Let me know what you're working on if you feel like it. And I will see you probably for my first cast on of the year. So go and live your best yarny life, and I will see you next year. Bye.